Okay, we're ready to go into executive session. I'm going to make a comment or two before the executive session. This will be my last board meeting here at Battery Park City Authority. I've been here 6 years, and I've enjoyed it. I really have. We have, not to pat myself on the back, but I think it's fair to say the organization has evolved a little bit over these 6 years. I've been pleased and just gratified to be part of it. In executive session, now we have a vacancy on the board, and I will share with you, if you haven't heard already, that the governor has nominated Martha Gallo to return to the board. You will recall that last year the state passed legislation that mandates at least 2 members of the authority board should be residents of Battery Park City. And that's something that's been important to the residents. It's been important to their representatives, the elected officials, who have spared no energy in reminding me of this requirement for quite some period of time, and it did go through. We have it. And then we have, I think it's fair to say that we have already 2 members who technically are not, I guess, residents of the authority, but longtime members of the downtown community and very intimately familiar with the authority, its operations, its activities, and its impact on the community at large. So I feel quite relaxed about departing in the sense that I think the organization's in good shape. I want to just say very specifically that I think our relatively recent elevation of BJ to be president of the authority we did the right thing, and the more that I've worked with BJ over these last several months a little more closely than I had before, has instilled in me great confidence. For that reason, and we'll see what the members do. We're going to these are personnel matters, so we're going to discuss them in executive session. And if the members have anything that they want to do or vote on, we would do that in a public meeting after executive session. But a lot of times all you folks don't want to wait around an hour while we talk about all this stuff, and then all we do is generally come back and adjourn. I will say that when I arrived, the then members of the authority voted to change the bylaws of our organization and permit a member to also be a member of the staff. So I had myself appointed Chief Executive Officer. Right? And that was, I think, at the time, was really the right thing to do. It was important for a variety of reasons. There was a little bit of turmoil and so on down here. And my experience on a previous board, I had learned that by the time things come to the board, an awful lot of what can happen or not happen or be talked about or be understood, the staff work is generally so comprehensive, detailed, and frankly thorough, and it needs to be, because we are dealing with taxpayer dollars. This is not a private enterprise. It's not a business. This is public money. We have responsibility to the public. And as a result, the culture, and I will say that that culture was here when I arrived, and we have continued to foster it, is to be quite diligent. But I thought that because we were contemplating significant changes, and that's before Sandy hit, by the way, which was about 30 or 45 days after I got here. Remember, Don, we got the hurricane. But I thought it was important for me to have the more granular and focused involvement in a variety of issues, and particularly as we were contemplating major reorganization of the structure of the Battery Park City Authority, that I be a member of the staff. And so by the time we would bring things to the board at monthly meetings, I would be in a position to talk with my colleagues in a more informed way, and even from time to time, in between meetings, we would talk either singly or one or two of us. But I will tell you that over the last year or two, and certainly over the last several months with the new leadership, my staff involvement, as opposed to my involvement as a member of the board and as the chair, has diminished substantially. It's just not needed. So I don't know what the members are going to do, because the one thing that I've learned a long time ago is the guy going out the door has the least amount of influence on what people are going to do after he's gone. But it would be my suggestion that the role of Chief Executive Officer be put back down to the staff, and that BJ should be the CEO and president, and the COO can go moribund into a pigeonhole somewhere until we think we need him. So that's by way of information, and I just wanted to share it all with you. And I want to thank everybody here who's new, old, in the middle, been here a long time, been here a short time. I just really appreciate everybody's effort, commitment to the organization, your integrity, and frankly, your competence. So I just wanted to say thank you.
I think I may be the only member who was here when
you preceded me.
When you were running the place, and it was it was exceptional. And you did an amazing job while you were doing it, and I learned a lot from you in the course of that, and all of the members did at that time. And of course, you saved us a lot of money because you did it for nothing while you ran the rest of your enterprises. It was pretty impressive.
Well, the salary's not too large in this job. I'll confess.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I appreciate
absolutely.
that. So,
And Dennis, on behalf of the staff too, I think it's hard to convey to people the role you play behind the scenes and the way you've supported us and have informed what we've done, and you've been very supportive of our renewed approach with the community to engage them, and have pushed us as we pursue an aggressive resiliency plan, and kept us on our toes and raised the bar for what we prepare and present to the board, and so thank you for that.
okay.
Yeah, I want to thank you too, Dan.
Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
And I just for the record, to be clear, the subject of the executive session, in addition to the topics that you've stated, is that we also intend to discuss the negotiations related to the lease of real property, the publicity of which could substantially affect the value of relevant properties. Just before the members vote on executive session, want to make sure that's also on the record as being a subject for today's executive session.
Good, thank you.
Seconded.
We have a second? Where did George go? All right, we're going to executive session. Thank you. Back in public session, and
Matt, you're the public.
now we're back in public session?
We're live.
Or at least let's say we're projecting. We're
Red light.
projecting. Yeah. So what is exactly the protocol? Do I put a motion before the board?
Yeah, motion, and then vote by majority.
Okay. So I make a motion that the board elect George Sunis as its chair.
Seconded.
Do we have a second?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Made
Everybody?
the motion, sorry.
Let the record reflect that I abstained.
Does that leave us a quorum? Yes,
I
it
think it
does.
leaves
Yes.
us, I think it should be a unanimous decision at this point,
Yeah.
right? Everybody voted in for
Aye.
it. I think the record should reflect the unanimous
That he
decision.
was elected unanimously. Does that make him the chair right this minute? Am I allowed to make another?
Just stay right there.
I'm still on the board, aren't I?
5 minutes
Yeah,
from
you're
now.
still on the board.
I'm still on the
Your-
board.
Your motion is effective as of
The
the next
conclusion
meeting.
of this meeting.
Okay.
There you go.
And also, it's my recommendation that we pass a resolution that BJ's responsibilities now include those of the Chief Executive Officer and President. Do we stay with the COO with you? You want all three?
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes. We have to have a COO,
Per
we
the
have to have a
bylaws.
president, we have to have a CEO. Right now, he's 2 out of 3. And so I'd like to put a motion before the board that VJ become the Chief Executive Officer of the authority.
I'd be permitted to make the motion, please.
Moved by Mr. Sunis,
Second.
second by Catherine. Hearing no opposition, the record would reflect it is unanimous. Is that correct?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
A
you.
motion to adjourn?
Congratulations.
So moved.
Yeah.